Alright, so real quick, some general rules. We're not going to give the dog commands on how to do anything until you actually teach them how to do things. So dogs learn physically, so you're going to use food as a physical reward. You're going to use luring with your hand to get the dog into position and do things. And when the dog starts doing the position in anticipation, meaning that you lure it into like a sit and the dog sits down before you finish it, that's him kind of giving you the indication that he's starting to understand what you want, and what he's trying to do is get to the sit or the position you're teaching faster to access this quicker. I'm also going to kind of cover like the communication system, the words we're going to use and what they mean. The only command that you should really be giving the dog right now is when you go outside on the leash and you want him to go potty, just walk him around, and whenever the dog is peeing or pooping, say like potty, just potty, good potty, potty, whatever you feel like using. You can say bathroom, you can say piss, you can say banana. The word actually doesn't matter, and what that will do is help teach the dog that when he's going to the bathroom, to put his mindset, to change his mindset into the idea that this is kind of what you want. Not so much like an actual command as much as it's just kind of like our body's natural urge to go to the bathroom. It's just kind of like alerting our brain, so we are like, oh, I should go to the bathroom. That's all we're kind of doing, is kind of giving the dog the indication like this is kind of what we want, because can't punish the dog or correct the dog for going to the bathroom. Can't really reward it because he breaks the position, and then every time your dog takes a pee or poop, he's gonna start running to you expecting food. So that's not really what we want. So we're gonna do what they call clicker training. Now you can actually use one of those plastic clickers that make the noise for you, but I like the idea of using the word yes. I'm pretty monotone, but if you can say the word yes consistently in the same way, like our communication words, then you can use your voice for a clicker. And a big reason I like to use this is when you're training, it is incredibly hard to have food in one hand, a clicker in the other, a leash with the dog that's being unruly on that same hand, and trying to maneuver the dog, click at the right time, and then with the other hand feed the dog. Not to mention with our communication system, there's going to be a way you feed and what feeding words mean. So I think it's a lot easier if you just have a leash in your left hand, food available in your right hand or in a bag close by, and use your voice for all the commands. So I'll show you a good example. Captain, come. Aussie. Good. So I call them over. You don't have to reward every command, but when you're first training stuff, you're going to reward frequently, pretty much every time. We're not going to go to a variable food schedule. So this is what your command should be. You're going to show the dog food. He can obviously see the food and he wants it. I show it to him. He sees it. Okay. So what you're going to do is go. You're not going to give him a command. You're not even going to lure him into a position. All you're going to do is get him near you. You can sit on the floor for this all you want. Keep the food probably above the dog's level. And you're going to go, yes, and give him the food. Watch again. My hand's here. No movement. Yes. There's a small pause. And then give it to him. Yes. But watch. What yes means is that the dog is doing something right. He's free to break his position. No whining. Quiet. Aussie. No. Aussie. And we don't do a lot of training in the house. I want him to be relaxed. But so, watch. Yes. That means he got up, he accessed the reward. So, don't pay attention to the commands. We're just going to show you. Touch. It's his chair. Touch means to get up on something. Yes. And that means he can come get it. Right? So watch what happens. Yes means you did the right job. You did what I asked. You're allowed to break the position and come to you, because everything you're gonna teach the dog is gonna be implied stay. So when you say sit, you mean sit. It doesn't mean sit, and then get up. So we're not going to teach a stay command. Everything we teach is going to be, I tell you go into a position, and it means stay in that position till otherwise told. Captain, come. And notice I'm not yelling at the dog. I'm not being over enthusiastic. You must saw something outside. Captain, come. No. Come. Good. So watch. What good means, you did what I asked, but I want you to stay in the position, and I'll bring the reward to you. So, we're going to do it again. Captain, touch. Didn't use anything. Good. So see how I say good? He stayed there. And I come to him. So I'm over here with some food. I just got a little dish. Good. And then see how he looks right at the food? Now he shouldn't, no. He shouldn't break the position, so I told him no. So that's one other thing that we're going to do. So again, here's the difference. Captain, touch. Yes. Touch. Good. And I bring it to him. So yes means he got up, he can come to me. And initially all I want you to do is teach yes. So I'm going to tell him yes. And he comes to me. But initially, for your puppy, all I want you to do is grab the food and do this 100 times. Yes. So steady hand, yes. And then give it to him. Now, he can come to the reward, but quickly, while you're teaching this, what we're doing is we're doing behavior modification. So we're doing the groundwork for clicker training, and that's the basis of everything we're going to do. And the idea is that he's going to hear the word yes, and he's going to anticipate us giving him food. So you do this 100 times, and then on the 101st time, even if you took a second and waited, if you said yes, the dog's going to look at you. He's going to start salivating because he expects the food. Pavlov's training that he did with dogs kind of gave us this idea. But you got to remember, dogs only associate cause and effect in 1.3 seconds. So if we say yes, we want to get him that reward pretty quick. So initially, you want to just sit on the floor with them, put it close, and just keep saying yes, food, yes, food, yes, food. But we don't want the dog, since remember how I said everything's physical with the dogs, we don't want them to learn that the emotion of me giving them the food is what yes is. So we got to isolate it. So you can put your hand by you, somewhere else, anything, and you're simply just going to like show them the food, staying still. You're going to say the command or the reward command. You're going to take a small pause and then give it to them, so everything's distinct. So just like military motion, you know, you're going to give a command, a small pause, and then the follow-up. So, you know, like platoon, pause, attention. So, yes. And then, oop, he dropped the food. Now, what we want to do also is not let the dog access food on the reward. Or on the floor, sorry. So when I dropped it, I went and got it before him. One, this speeds up training a whole lot, because if your dog thinks food's on the floor, when you say yes, he's going to look on the floor, because that's going to be easier than looking at you. See how he's sniffing? Now, what I did for my dog is I taught him the word like vacuum, and that means that there's something nearby. So there's nothing at my feet, but Captain, vacuum. So he's going to run over here to my feet, vacuum, and he's going to look for food. He's like, oh, I know Dad, that means Dad has something down there. But the other thing we're going to do is we're going to teach him no. And no, initially, from the start, is going to mean you did it incorrect and try again. So what we're doing is we're kind of, not stubborn, what's the word I'm looking for? We're going to kind of mess with the dog, not mess with the dog's head. Like, not cause some confusion, but we're going to get the dog to try to think. So in the future, when he's training, come. I'm going to tell him something, and if he does it wrong, I'm just going to tell him no. I'm not going to correct him. There's no collar on him. I have no leash. I have no electric collar. And it's pretty much teaching him he did it wrong. Or not wrong, but he did it the wrong thing, and I want him to think about it and try to figure out what it is. So when he makes mistakes, I just say no. So, Asi, he sat down. Good. Later in life for the dogs, good is going to mean like you did a good job, and you're not always going to get a reward. Eventually, we're going to move to a variable food schedule where we're not always giving the dog food or a reward, because we don't want the dog to be 3 years old and they still expect food every time I do something to them. So over time, we start to random or less and less food for it, and that also builds drive because the dog's like, dang, I didn't get it this time. Maybe I'll get it next time, and it builds drive. And that's how you can get dogs to like listen, do commands, and do extended training for longer periods of time without you having to cart around a bunch of food. And for him, no, Asi, I wasn't paying attention. I told him to sit, and he broke it, so we gotta fix it. And you gotta be consistent. If I just let him lay down, the next time I tell him to sit, he might be like, eh. I didn't have to kick him. I just used my foot to kind of like encourage him to get up. So, Dabu. And so he stood up. Yes. And give him the food. And everything we do is implied stay. You don't see it. But see how I said yes? He's allowed to free now. Move now. Well, now watch. Captain, come. Captain, come. Couche. Another thing eventually we'll get to is we're going to teach him that the commands don't mean only near me. Some people only teach their dog on a leash next to them, and they never teach their dog at a distance. And then this dog doesn't actually know lay down means to lay down. The dog thinks lay down means to come lay down next to me. And that's not always what you want. Captain, watch. Watch means eye contact. Asi, no. See, I said no. I didn't have to recommand him. He figured out I didn't like what he did. Let me think about it. Oh yeah, Asi means sit. I didn't do it right. So, just to recap. Free. And that's another command we didn't go on. So just to recap, yes means you did it right. You can break the command to access your reward. So you're going to start by just feeding the dog, hold the food steady, say yes, pause, give him the food, over and over and over. Do this like 100 times, and I guarantee you the dog's going to know that when you say yes, he's going to expect food out of your hand. So it's knowing that that's what he wants and what he's going to expect. We're not going to abuse it. We're going to be fair. He's not going to listen to you if you're not fair. So every time you say yes, feed him. So you're going to say yes, and trust me, when he figures this out, you know, he's going to be on the other side of the living room or something, and you can see him do something like, I don't know, he sits down and you like it and you just say yes, he's going to look at you, he's going to run to you for food because he knows you produce food when he says yes. And the basis of the training is anticipation. He anticipates that you're going to give him food when he hears that sound. So we build on that, so the dogs, when they sit, they anticipate yes is coming, and that means they'll get food. And then they'll start sitting faster and more frequently because that's what gets the word yes to come out, which means they get food. So, and I didn't give him commands. He's just kind of doing these things on his own because he thinks I'm going to play with them. So again, yes means you're free to break the command. You're done. You can come access the reward. And this is very quick. All your training for the next few weeks should just be yes, because you want it to be short duration. We're not telling the dog at 8 weeks old to sit in a stay, sit or lay down or stand up for like 20 minutes. It takes time to get to that point. And we don't want to rush it, or else the dog's just going to hate training. So by keeping it short and sweet, and by saying yes, he gets to move. You know, you can make a game too. You know, when after he learns this, you can say yes, and get him to come chase it, and make it a game. And then the dog gets the food from you. Now you're playing with the dog, and he's having fun playing, but he's training. And training is so much better when you're having fun. No means you did it wrong. Try again. No doesn't mean punishment yet. Eventually, you're going to teach them that no can also mean that you're going to receive a negative physical correction. And then good means you did something right, just like yes, but I don't want you to break the position or the command, and I'm going to bring the reward to you. all you really need to know right now is the yes. And I just want you to do the clicker training thing with him for a while. You can do that probably 3 or 5 times tomorrow. Grab all his food for the day, put it in his bowl, put the bowl on the counter. Go to the kitchen, grab like a handful of food, half his food, whatever. Don't overfeed him, but his daily food, take like a handful of it and just stand there saying yes, give him food. Do this till you run out of food in your hand, and then just go back to watching TV or doing whatever. A few hours later, do it again. A few hours later, do it again. So you should have 3 or 5 sessions. There's no specific amount of time and no limit to how many sessions you can do in a day. But I will tell you that you always want to end on a high note. So if you're struggling with some of the training, the last thing you want to do is a simple command he knows when we get, once you learn his commands, and just end on a positive note. Also, if you're teaching something, and like this session, you're teaching, more of the sit, and you tell him to sit the first time and he just does it, just end the session. Jackpot. Give him, when you say yes, you give him like all the food that's in your hand. Make it a huge reward because he just did an outstanding job. So like when a dog makes like big jumps in training and does things that you unexpected, like yesterday he was struggling with the sit and today you told him sit and he nailed it, give him a big reward. Make him understand that what he did to get that reward was amazing, and he's gonna, when there's variable jackpots in there, he's gonna want to do it more because sometimes he's gonna get a huge amount of reward. End the session, and then just go back to doing whatever you want. And then like a few minutes later to a few hours later, whatever you want, do another training session. And then it might take 6 or 7, 8 reps before he says sit, and he does it. And then he does it, just kind of end the session. So we got our yes, good, and no. Last one I didn't talk about is free. Free, we're not going to work on it right now, but free is going to mean like you can break the position, but no rewards. We got yes, that means break position, get reward, come get it. Good, that means keep the position and you'll get a reward. And then free means break the position, but there's no reward. So there's 3 of them. They're all kind of different, but if you teach it correctly, the dog will clearly understand. So that's about it. So tomorrow I just want you to do the clicker training thing and knock that out.